And a one fish, two fish. And a one fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish. And a red fish, blue fish. Okay, I think that's sounding good there. Okay, I think that's sounding. Let's check the YouTube. YouTube still doesn't even have me on camera. What's going on, YouTube? There we go. That's a little better. YouTube still doesn't even have me on camera. What's going on, YouTube? Let's knock that. YouTube still doesn't even have me on camera. What's going on, YouTube? Let's knock that. YouTube still doesn't even have me on camera. What's going on, YouTube? Let's knock that. I'm not even sure my chat's working. First words. Is that Rod Shelley? I can't. Hey, Rod. There it is. That is Rod Shelley. Okay. My chat still shows the Saturday Night Social chat above it. So there it is. Hey, happy Roasty-Toasty Monday. It is warm and humid here in the great state of New York. We've got like 95 degrees with a humidity. And my air conditioner just popped the circuit breaker. Yay! Actually, it was the water pump. Apparently my air conditioner is on the same circuit as the computer here in Minnesota as well. Yep. So we're gonna work on the rockabilly dress today. Probably I think that's probably all I'm gonna get around to today. Hey Art, how are you doing? And I'm thinking it could be worse. It could be Virginia. You got 100-degree weather down there, Art. You got 100-degree weather, Rod. Has anybody got 100-degree weather? We don't yet. Missouri, you haven't moved yet. It's 100 today all week. No, we're solidly in the mid 90s today, which for New York isn't good. Fortunately, the house is relatively dry inside, although it's getting a little warm. I ran out and got another air conditioner for my partner. So she actually has two air conditioners in her room. She was dying from the heat yesterday, even with an air conditioner in her room. Granted, it's an older air conditioner. I probably should clean it or something. I'm hoping it doesn't, because she's upstairs and all the heat goes up. Well, I'm hoping that with an additional air conditioner, it'll keep her cool enough. And I've got an air conditioner here, and we got one running in the living room. Living room is still at 70 degrees, so even though the air conditioner is set at 61, it's been holding steady at 70 all day. Anyhow, I'm going to work on this dress. I'm getting closer. I've got all my material files done. Oh, it makes Joe miserable in this kind of heat. I imagine. Oh, and you have a few errands. Oh, dude. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get my partner out in this heat. You kidding? I have a hard time getting her out at all. Um, First things first, I'm going to do like a little. Hey, Rapoker, how are you doing? That is a dolphin. That's Bongo. He's the summer mascot. So I'm going to try to do a little mini tutorial here because I want to split. I have a morph in here and I want to split it in two. So I'm going to do that. So we're going to start with this. So mini tutorial, how to take a morph and split it in two. So we're going to do that. Actually, I'm going to end up with three morphs, but we're going to do two first. So I have this one morph in here. If we come up to somewhere over in here and we find my morph, this is called, so where is that? Should be in here. Adjust straps or something like that. Don't tell me I lost my morph. That's going to be so sad. Oh no. I went to all the trouble to make this nice morph and now I can't find it anymore. Are you over here in morphs? That's why I can't find it. It's still in morphs. There it is. I'm going to split that morph into two. So that's what we're going to do first. Then we're going to work on maybe setting up a few more special morphs on this dress. And if we still have time, I'm going to try to start setting up the unzipped versions of this. Yo, Brian, how are you doing? We have been staying cool, but I have to turn the air conditioner off to stream. So here's hoping that I'm not just a big old puddle in a couple of hours. How you doing, Brian? I imagine you're in the mid to upper 90s. And you're on the East Coast, I believe, which means you probably got too much humidity. So happy Roasty-Toasty Monday. I'm doing this. Okay, we're going to do the split morphs now. I'm going to try to do this without getting distracted too much. We'll see how this goes. So I've got my morph. I'm going to split it. So first things first. In order to split the morph, we're going to mark it as a favorite. I shouldn't have anything else marked in favorites in here. So we just have the one thing marked as favorites. So we only want one favorite. And then we're going to pop over here to the geometry editor. And we're going to go into tool settings. And we're going to pop over to over here. We're going to do the vertex selection. And in order to split these up, I'm just going to select parts of this one over here. So I'm going to make this into an undo left and an undo right. Currently 82. Dang! The ocean is working out for you. So we're just going to expand that selection to cover most of this half. At least the strap. The rest of the dress doesn't have too much of the morph in it. Once we do that, we can click on here, come to morph editing, and clear selected deltas from favorites. So there we go. Now only half of that morph is activated. So, ooh, a gentleman of leisure. Nice, Brian. All right, I'm going to save this out. We're going to change the name of this morph is what we're going to do. Dum, dum, dum. Hey, was that Charles? No, that was Rod. That was... Here, let's do some quick shout outs here. Art. And we do have a Brian command. And let's not forget the Snow Bunny. She probably wishes there was snow right now. Okay, I'm going to resave this morph with a new name now. So we're going to come over to parameters and morphs. I'm going to edit this. We're going to take it off favorites. I'm going to pop in here. I'm going to change the name. I just clicked on the wrong thing, damn it. Cancel that. Where did my morph go? There it is. So I'm going to change this. Undo straps L. We're just going to put the same thing here. And I got to go take a look at my data folder and make sure everything's going right in there. I'm going to save that. So that's the new name of this. Let's go take a peek at where the data is. So we are in projects, 1950s, rockabilly swing, 2025. I'm in the wrong one. Data, me, rockabilly swing. This is the Genesis 8 version of the dress. I'm going to go down here in the morphs. I'm going to go into there. I'm looking under base. What I am looking at is undo straps. So somewhere in here should be an undo straps. Why do I not? There it is. So I'm going to save this, and I should get an extra one here in here that'll say undo straps L. You had made 3 blocks of ice when you noticed forecast and the emptiness in your fridge's freezer. Yeah, I could see that. Oh, my phone's making noises. Nothing important. Okay. All right, so I'm keeping an eye to make sure that that doesn't go away. Actually, I'm going to back that up. I'm just going to stick a copy of it way up here in the upper reaches of my folder just in case I inadvertently overwrite it, because that would be bad. All right, now I'm going to save this morph out, modified assets, base. We are looking, it's still in Morse, so we're looking over here. I'm going to just save that. We're going to pop back over here to base. And there it is. It's saved out. Yay. Okay, now we're just going to delete the dress and reload it. And we should have our new morph in there. If Daz will play nice. All right. You know what? I should clear that selection. And let's take a look at how our morphs are working. I should now have 2 morphs. We used to have 1. So this is the one that we just split off. And I was able to keep the original. Okay, so we're going to do this one more time for the right side. So same thing we did before. We're going to mark this as a favorite. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to just select some of those, and then we're just going to expand that selection with a Control Plus. Kill it. Covers the entire strap and a little bit further on the dress is good. Now we'll right-click, Morph Editing, and clear from favorites. So that resets that back to its normal position. And now once again, you know what, let's clear the selection, geometry selection, clear selection. Okay, and then once again, we're going to turn that off, rename this, undo straps R, undo straps R, then we can save this with its new name. And we're going to come down here, and that's an actor in adjustments. And no, it's not. It's still in Morse. Never mind. And undo straps R. There we go. Accept that. All right, now if I delete the dress, I have to reload it to get the new Morse to load up properly. That's what we're doing. Okay, and let's just go double check it. I'm going to clean up my Morse since we're here. Well, we'll double check it, and then I'll clean up the Morse. There it is. There's the undo right. There's the undo left. There's the original. So I have successfully split that up into two additional morphs. All right, so that is splitting morph targets up in Daz Studio. I'm going to start cleaning this stuff up for this dress. So things to do. That name is not good. Undo straps 2. We're going to change that. That I'm not going to change because that's the name in the data folder. Change that and make yet another copy. All right, and then we're going to, I'm going to grab, what does fix do? Okay, I might keep that, but I'm going to call it something else. Adjust the top. Well, I have this, which is kind of like what that does. So we may just get rid of that. I think for right now, though, we're going to reorganize things. We got to go into edit mode for this. Edit mode activated. There we go. I'm going to change the color of these dials. I'm going to set our presentation on that. Some of these actually are going to be special morphs, and some of these are going to be regular morphs. For special morphs, I like to make them this color and black. And accept that. And you know what? That's going to be an adjustment morph. That I'm going to get rid of. I'm going to just move. I'm going to recolor these. Set presentation again. Hey, Emerga, how are you doing? It's fun with Morphed Day. Sorry, dude. Trying to finish up this outfit is what it's coming down to. All right, let's set the property group for that. We're gonna move that over into. Hey, thanks for that. Thanks for shouting out, Emerga. There, Art. Appreciate that. Now I want a drink. And today you can't see it. I don't. I always hate it when mugs only have the design on one side. We're drinking out of our cool Darth Vader mug today. It's big. Not as big as Charles's head, but you know, that's the size of Charles's mug. By the way, make sure you're following Charles. He may stream. It happens. I'm gonna set that to adjustment. Accept that. We're gonna move this over to. We're gonna make a new cat. I don't think I have a special yet. I want this to be into actor special. Oh, I do have a special. Look at that. Accept that. All right, now let's pop over to here and see what we got. So all of these need to be colored up. Um, I still have these. You know what? I'm going to move these to a hidden folder. I'm going to set that property group to be hidden, and I think these are corrected, so I'm just going to stick them right down in there. You don't really need to see them. And then an actor, we're going to make sure that these are all limited to something like, I want to say, set limits. I want to set limits, enable limits. There we go. I want to color all of these to be green and black. I'm going to set the presentation on that. Oh my gosh, the email is going off the hook. I'm gonna. This is currently in a category that says adjustments. I think I want to change that to adjustment. So we're just gonna set that property group and take that S off. Should be good. Let's take a look. What I got in special? Undo straps both. Is that still a valid morph? Is that just the same as this? It looks like the same as this. You know what? We're going to just delete that, I think, then. So this gives me a much cleaner looking set of morphs for this. So we're just going to save these out, go into the data folder, and delete the morphs we don't need. So here, actually, let's reset the dress. Or I accidentally save a morph dialed in. You don't want to save a morph dialed in because that just looks goofy when the outfit loads. I'm just going to save all the. You know what? I made changes to some of these down here, so I'm going to resave all of that. And now to clean this up, we physically have to just go into the data folder here with the morphs and just delete the stuff we don't need. So I have stuff left over from Genesis 9, so we're going to get rid of that stuff, which is these right here. These are left over from Genesis 9, but they do stuff. These are left over for Genesis 9, but they're correctives for Genesis 9, so we don't need those for Genesis 8. These are Genesis 9 characters. We can kill those. I'm not sure what that is, so it doesn't hurt. Fix. I think I was going to get rid of fix. You know what? I'm going to just. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm just going to move it over here. Okay, those are the flares. These are Genesis 9 characters, so we're just going to get rid of all of that. And we're going to keep all those partial breast morphs. We made changes to those. I'm going to get rid of those. We don't need these. These will automatically generate. These are partial joint corrective morphs. I didn't do anything. I don't think I did anything. Actually, I can't remember if I did anything. I'm going to leave them. I don't think I made changes, but if I did, so if I'm correcting some JCM, sometimes I'll just overwrite the ones that are there. But just to be safe, make sure I don't do something stupid. Doesn't hurt to leave them. It just adds a few extra kilobytes or megabytes to the file size that gets distributed. And then we can get rid of these. Okay, these are the undo. See, that's that undo strap. I'm just going to copy that, move that over there. I think I put a copy over there already. So now we're good to go. I'm going to do a couple more special morphs. We're going to do those in Marvelous Designer. Hold on a second. My client just keeps. Well, it's not the. I work for a larger corporation as a freelancer, so I'm tied into their corporate email. So, sometimes stuff that just gets sent to the whole company. They just send a lot of garbage. Well, it's not. It's not garbage. It's important stuff. Garbage to me, though. Anyhow, is good. Let's make a special morph. We're going to start making the special morphs. And then I'm going to try to do the undone version. And then I have to do everything that I'm doing here to the Genesis 9 version as well. So I'm probably not going to do that. We're probably just going to do stuff to the Genesis 8 version. And then if there's time left, maybe play with the Nocturne gown that I've slowly been working on. Just to be sure that I'm not screwing something up, I always like to just export my current state so I know I've got the latest version. We're going to export this out so we can get in the Marvelous Designer and play with it in there. I'm going to export this twice, though. Because that undo straps comes in handy. And my brain stopped. Oh yeah, we gotta set this up for export, right? General, mass resolution. We have to export at base resolution. I'm gonna get out of edit mode here. Also, I'm gonna turn the mesh smoothing off. Okay, now I'm gonna export this out. We're making morphs. Export the file. Rockabilly whip. You know what? Let's make a morphs file in here. And I'm going to just put this in here. Rockabilly dress. EAF. We export out at 1%. All of this stuff is just fine. Okay, I'm also going to do a version with the straps undone. Actor. Special. Undo both. Still there because we haven't reloaded the dress since we deleted the morphs out. So I got to remember not to save that again. I can just delete it here, actually. And then I can't accidentally resave it. So we pop back into edit mode. I'm going to select that. I'm going to delete selected property. There we go. Now I can't accidentally. Okay, now I'm going to export this out. Also use that in Marvelous Designer. I've gone to all the trouble to get these, and this will work a little bit better than the other shape for some morphs. So we're just going to do that. Dress undone. Actually, dress straps undone. accept that. All right, let's load up Marvelous Designer and play with making Morse. I love how Marvelous Designer says signing into Clo. We're different, but not really. We're still waiting for Marvelous Designer. There we go. All right, we're going to load in Genesis 8 avatar and work off of that. Do I have extra stuff in here that I don't need? CS Bond is in the house, baby. How you doing today, Charles? You managing to stay cool? Did you have to work in a bakery today? I hope not, but you never know. Not a lot of more uncomfortable places I could think of working on a day like today. Except outside. My lawn guy showed up today. God. I hope him and his helper, I hope they don't have a heat stroke, get heat exhaustion or something. Because it's like in the mid 90s with high humidity. But I guess that's what you got to do. No, you're off today. Yay. And off tomorrow, too. Tomorrow will be your 5th day off. Excellent. I'm loading in an avatar. We're making Morse for the Rockabilly swing dress. And if time permitting, I can start doing the undone versions. Come on. There we go. When I come into here, can't see, Mike's in the way. All right, let's do this. I'll import add OBJ to garment. Hey, look at that. I got a more folder. Excellent. I want to start. Actually, I want to start without the avatar. Having brought in the avatar, I'm now going to get rid of it. I'm gonna do some morphs that are designed not to be on the body to start with. We're gonna do a couple of hanging morphs. Who's Mike? This is it's Mr. Mike. Oh no! It's Mr. Hand. What am I doing? I want to get a hanger. I'm gonna get a hanger, and I'm gonna pin some of this stuff up in the back. And I'm gonna hang this off a hanger. So let me load in my hanger. Import add OBJ. I keep a hanger hidden over here in the projects folder. Cleverly called hanger2.obj right there. All right, there's a hanger now in the scene. I'm going to bring that up here, and we're going to hang this dress off of that. If I do this right now, that's not really tied, and it's going to fall apart, or at least it should. Let's find out. That should just fall right off of there, just like that. Okay. What I have to do is I have to pin that up so that it doesn't do that. Or I can, I'm not going to do the tacks. I'm going to just use the pin feature. So we're going to do a select mesh lasso. And I'm going to try to grab like parts of this. And I'm going to make a pin out of this. At least that's the plan. And then I can kind of move that around. And hopefully it'll keep most of this. Let's try this. Let's create a pin. Now when I do this, does that all hold together right there? Part of it fell out, but you know what? That's probably going to be... I need to get a pin onto that part right there. So that might be... Dang it. Let's try that. That. Maybe a little bit back here. And I'm trying to make sure that I'm in a spot where I don't accidentally click on stuff I'm not trying to get. Why is it? I don't know. Because the Marvel's designer team wants to license theirs for too much. That's going to do the trick. Okay. So now we can do this. And I probably hanging on the ground now. I think I'm going to back that up just a little bit there. And I don't know, maybe I'm going to just pin these as well. I hate to say it, but it's greedy as they are. Even if they charge a monthly fee, they wouldn't develop it any better. I hate to say it, but it's greedy as they are. Even if they charge a monthly fee, they wouldn't develop it any better. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to put a pin here and here. I'm going to let that ribbon kind of, you know what? I'm just going to put a pin here and act as if it's somehow just holding up there. I think I'm going to leave that pin in there for right now. So here, let's do this. I'm just going to get the pin lasso. I want to pin that. I want to pin this. Okay, and then I'm just going to do that. Then we're just going to kind of move these. I heard a noise. Why did I hear a noise? Celis Australis. Rating with a party of 3. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that, man. I may have been lurking your stream a little earlier today. So everybody check out Celis Australis. Super cool garden stream. Yeah, I'm just going to pull you over like that. I think I'm just going to undo that back. How was the garden? I did have you on the background for a while earlier today. Always a super cool place to hang out with those Scottish dragons and the bears. There be bears there. It was windy. Okay, I'm going to delete the selected pin. We're going to do this. I'm going to call this a hanging morph. I'm just going to move that in a little closer like that. Pull that up a little bit like that. I'm going to just adjust this other side a little bit. And I think that's going to be hanging 01. It's a classic little black dress. It's actually a rockabilly dress. This is how it... I mean, you can make it black. And you can make it shorter. Right now it just looks black because that's what Marvel's designer decides to color it for whatever reason. Anyhow, I'm happy with that. Actually, I'm going to tweak one thing. I'm going to make my thickness a little bit thicker just to have it puff out just a little bit before we export it. All right, I'm ready. I'm going to export this now. Export OBJ selected. Um, 50s, Rockabilly 2025, Whip, Morphs. You know what? I'm going to put a new folder in here for this dress. Dress G8F. Going to be hanging 01. Save that. Okay, then I'm just going to make a second one, which basically means I'm going to just undo, delete that. I'm going to get rid of this hanger. And we're just going to do that. Let that's going to be hanging. I'm just going to pull that up off the ground. Actually, I'm going to make a third hanging because of this is so ending up so long. I'm going to have one where it's partially on the ground, while it's still hanging. So let's export that out. I should check to see, make sure this is going to work. Nothing quite like doing a dozen morphs and then realize you did something wrong. And they're all garbage. File, export, OBJ selected. This will be hanging out too. I'm going to turn that simulation off. I can hear the fan pumping in the background, adding heat to the already warm room. What is my temperature running at? CPU only 76. We're good. We're good. What's the GPU looking like? Which one of you is my GPU? GPU is running a little warm. Or CPU is running a little warm. But it's not pushing over 80 yet, so we're fine. All right, let's double check and make sure my morphs are good. I'm going to reset that. I'm going to load in these morph targets. They're over here. Let's just make sure open, accept. I think that worked. I'm not seeing the blue line of death. So we come over here. So there's, oops, I forgot to scale it. Dang it. My scaling is off. Here, let's switch it. Let's set it to the Chris Cox blender scale. Because that's what I normally use. It didn't explode though. It just meant my scaling was off. There we go. That's the morph we just made in Marvelous Designer. Looks okay. That was the second one. That doesn't. Oh, I got. Don't dial both morphs in at the same time. There we go. That's better. Okay, reset that. All right, we're gonna carry on and get the. I'm gonna do one more hanging morph, which is actually going to be lower and it'll be partially on the ground. So activate the computer warmer upper function. The simulation in this thing really does require processing. Okay, I think I'm good. Although the new version will dump this off onto the GPU. All right, we're going to call that hanging 3. I'm going to do a couple on the ground morphs. And then we're going to, I think, work on the the undone strap versions. Hanging 3 up. Yeah, save that. Okay, let's see if I can undo back to before we simulated anything. Or I just have to reload the dress. There we go. Okay, it brought the hanger back. We don't need that. Let's clear off all these pins. Delete all pins. All right, this is on the ground morph 1. And I'm going to tweak the thickness a little bit. I mean, it makes it look a lot blobbier, but it helps prevent weird clipping. All right, on the ground 1. There we go. File, export, OBJ selected. On ground 01. I can't remember if I can use these on the Genesis 9 version or not. It depends on how lucky I got when I make the G9 version. On the ground 01, save that. Okay, now I'm going to do one where we're just going to try to lay it out flat. So if you ever need to drop the dress over a chair or something, this on the ground morph is probably your best starting point, or you could just do it from that. I'm going to just make sure we're going to add a little bit more thickness to that just to make sure. I think that'll be fine. File, export, OBJ selected on the ground 2. Okay on that. Turn the sim off. And I'm probably going to start doing... Yeah, so I don't think I need this anymore. Here, let's see how these morphs are looking over here. So we're going to load these 3 additional morphs in. All right, those look happy. So there's the equivalent morphs in DAS. Oakley dokley. I want to check to see how they work, if they work with the Genesis 9 version. So I'm going to hide that for just a second. Oops. We're just going to pop over here and get out of G9 version for a second. A couple of minutes. Get you in here. Oops. I accidentally applied it while I had the other dress selected. Let's just reload that without that. Okay. Now let's see if I can load those in on this dress. I might have made some little tweaks or changes between the two. I can never remember. Mostly I try to keep the geometries the same between the two if I can. Sometimes it just doesn't quite work out that way. But if they stay the same, I can just now reuse these morphs on the G9 and I don't have to redo them. Yay. So there's a few morphs I don't have to do twice. The only little weird thing that you may not ever notice is it makes the dress a little bit larger. Okay, I think those are good. How am I set up on these? Okay, I have started this one. This one has that undo straps. I have to tweak that. We're going to organize this and then save these out. So like we had done earlier in the stream, we are in edit mode. We're going to recolor these and put them into another group. So these are special morphs. So I like to use this kind of purpley red color, maroon, I don't know, whatever. Black, we're going to say okay to that. We're going to set a property group here. We're going to move this into those actor special. These are special morphs. I'm going to put that in there. Now when we look over here under actor and special, our morphs over here in the special morphs. And if you're just here an actor, they're colored, so it makes it easier to find them. Okay, so now we're just going to save these out as a asset. Phase. I'm going to come down here and select the morphs I want to save. I just want to save the ones that I just loaded in. We're just going to check these and accept that, and it writes them off into the data folder. And so we're good. So those are morphs I don't have to do twice. A lot of the morphs I have to do twice just because of the different shapes. But those, because they're not on the body, if I don't change the geometry, I can get away with using them on both. All right, so we're good with that. All right, on to doing some more special morphs. So this is still the zipped up version, so we can't do unzipped versions of the morphs yet. That comes when I do the undone version, which I don't know, we might be able to get started later today. I'm going to do import add. Okay, so this time I'm going to use that straps undone version. I'm going to make some morphs of that. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the straps over the shoulders, maybe pull the chest down a little bit. So I think I'm going to probably try to make 4 more morphs out of this. One's going to be strap over the shoulder, side down, and then strap over the shoulder, right side down. Then 6, then both over the shoulder and both down. Okay, so let's do that. I need a genesis in here though. That up. Oh, cancel. Try this again. Add to workspace. There we go. I'm thinking. I'm actually going to pin. We're going to turn gravity off. Let's do that. I'm also probably going to pin everything from kind of the waist down so it won't move at all. Actually, for the first morphs, we're going to pin everything but the straps. Actually, everything but one of the straps. And then I can just move that strap. I think that's what we're going to. Actually, so I'm going to create a pin for the lower half. Try to save that. We're going to come over here, mesh lasso tool, and just bring you around. So I wish this would x-ray through. That would make things a lot easier. In some ways, oh dang it, I accidentally grabbed part of one of the straps because it just went all the way through. All right, let's back that up. Oh, it's because I wasn't paying attention. Let's try that again, and let's try not to grab the end of that strap. My mouse hit the keyboard. Don't you hate it when you're doing that? You're making a selection or something, and then you just mouse plows into something like the keyboard. Or that big pile of cocaine. No, we don't do cocaine here. All right, we're getting there. Remember, kids, drugs are bad. Unless prescribed by your doctor or your psychiatrist. In which case, take your meds, kids. All right, let's make a pin out of that. You're gonna have to hit the road. All right. Hey, have fun with the errands, Rod. Hope the AC is blasting really nicely in the car. Hey, tell Joe we say hi. All right, I'm gonna grab this stuff. I'm hitting the keyboard again. Oh, dang it. Try that again without trying not to grab that strap. It works quite well. Okay. All right, let's pin all of that. Okay, now I'm just going to pin the right side. I just do the left side by itself. Straight pin. Alrighty. And actually, you know what? I might stick a pin right down in here. I can drag that. All right, now we'll activate, simulate, and then I can just kind of grab that. And what I'm going to do is I want to just pull that strap up and over. And then I'm going to just undo. There's that pin that I have in here, which is allowing me to just pull that so easily. I could grab it too, but it's always a little wonky. Can I just delete that selected pin? Yay! And then that strap will just fall down. I think I have the gravity turned off. That's why it's behaving so nicely. Okay, I want that to just come up off of there a little bit. I think that's good. All right, so that's going to be strap L forward or something like that. I don't know. Stop that. Make sure we got that selected. File, export, OBJ selected. Um, strap forward L. Okay. Save that. Okay. All right, let's put that back. And let's, I'm going to undo that selection there. I think I'm just going to grab this, pin that. I'm going to unpin that. I'm going to pin this little pin on the end here just to make it easier to move it. Okay, hit the simulate, select that. Did before. Try not to go too fast. Bring you around. Okay, delete selected pin. And test that out. Got a little bit of a weird curl in there I'm not crazy about. Let's see if I can get that out of there. I don't know, maybe it adds some character to it. Get that pulled back in a little though. We need a Hey Joe tune. Where you going with that gun in your hand? Oh, did I say gun out loud on YouTube? Damn it. Oh, damn it. I accidentally touched something I didn't want to touch. And now everything's borked. I have to. This is going to just completely undo what we were just doing because I accidentally touched this and then it kind of borked everything. And now we're going to do this again. On the plus side, it goes faster the second time. That's what I'm going to tell myself. I'm not going to cry at all. No siree. Just going to do that. Is that looking fine? I twist you around like that. I'm just seeing if I'm twisting funny or not. I am kind of twisting. I want to twist the other way, actually. That's what I want. And then if I just trying to take the tension off of that, we're going to delete that pin. And I'm going to stop that. And I'm going to call that good enough. This part can be a little tweaky. Strap forward R. And I'm going to hit save. Do that. Should be good. We're just going to pop over and load those into Dash just to make sure I haven't screwed anything up too bad. This is kind of like my sanity check right here to see if they load in or if I've made a really bad mistake. Oops, I think I saved you guys over here, didn't I? See, I did not save that strap right because it's only got 1 kilobyte. That's why I'm checking. We gotta see. I didn't have it selected. That was the problem. Do this again. Export OBJ selected. We're going to override that because that's garbage. And say okay. That stuff in the way. Okay, we should be good now. Pop back over to the Morse. They're of course loading up in here because I haven't. You know what? I don't want that moving. So here's, I'm going to reload those morphs one at a time. So for one of these, I'm going to apply the morph that does the thing. Over here in special, the undo strap R, we're going to do that. Now I'm going to load in the strap L forward morph. And then when we come over, then when I reset that, I come over to here and we do the strap forward L. Just that one strap moves and the other strap just stays in place. Excellent. Okay, then we're just going to do the same thing. Pop over here. Going to undo strap right. No, undo strap L. Yeah, undo strap L, and then we're going to load the strap right forward. So complicated. Undo strap forward R. There we go. Should be good. And strap forward R should come forward without the other one moving. Okay. This one gets tricky because now we're going to just pull this down. Then I'm going to do the same thing over here. And do I want that? I'm going to undo that one there, and then we're going to reset it up a couple of times. I think I'm going to just pin this in place over here in part of the back. That's still pinned. I think that's probably fine. Let's create a pin there. Now let's try this. Let me see if I can just pull that right side down. A little bit of and I'm going to turn gravity on for this. We've been working without gravity for a little bit. I'm going to put it low. And I'm probably going to crank up the, well, I hadn't seen that before. All right, are we simulating? Gosh, I have not. Wow, that's like an explosion. It done blown up. It done blown up good. I may not be able to pull this off. What happens if I deselect those? Deselected everything. I want to just deselect the selected. Let's try this and let's patiently wait and see. Yeah, it is exploding. I know. It's just like suddenly I'm in Daz. It probably has to do with how I have this stuff built out. So these are really close together. So I may have an issue here getting this pulled down. Here, I'm going to delete this. And let's just reload in and see if I can just sim that by itself. It wasn't exploding earlier. I want to say it has something to do with the pins, but I'm not sure. So here, I'm going to reload this. And we're just going to set it to sim for a little bit and see what happens. Did I just export? What the hell? I overwrote it. Damn it. All right, we got to re-export. Oh, Farfignugan. Undo straps both. That's what I want to do. Then I have to make sure that we are at a base resolution. I'm going to turn the mesh smoothing off. I'm going to re-export this. And we're going to overwrite that one right there, which I accidentally broke. Yes. Okay. All right, let's try this again. There it is. All right, let's just sim. Well, that's less than ideal. It's funny, the other one didn't have that issue. Try CPU. So that's an idea. We can do that. If it comes back, I blame diatom attack. I'm not sure. My go-to is Mitch McConnell. Um, all right, you know what? I'm going to close this and we're going to reload. All right, die, die, die. Gravy sucking pig. Actually, let me see here. Did I get the option? Here, let's close the program. All right, relaunching Marvelous Designer. I have a couple of things that we can try. We'll try the CPU thing first. I don't know. Let's see what do we got? What do you got for me? All right, I think that's where that's basically where we were. All right, so let's switch over to CPU and see if that makes a difference. Let's get Marvel's Designer repositioned so I can see chat again. Okay, activate. It's going. It's going. So let's try this. So I just strengthened the whole thing. Still doing it. So let's undo that. Let me try. Let's make the skin offset smaller. Okay, that seems to be working a little better. So I tightened up the skin offset by 2 millimeters. All right, now let's see if I can. So let's try this. I have the two file import add obj to garment. So I have this one, strap forward out, right? We have that. Bring that in. That's going to look kind of like that. We simulate that. Seems fine. Can I just, did I not load you in as a garment? It is not wanting to sim, is it? I done broke Marvelous Designer. Dang it. Avoiding stiffness. I don't know what that is. Did I accidentally click on something and not realize it? Here, I'm going to just reload and not from a save, just in case I might have clicked on something goofy. So we're waiting for Marvelous Designer to reload here. It's now 96 and sunny. So let's do import add OBJ to garment. Try this one again. If not, I'm going to reload in the original one. Okay, let's go get our Genesis 9 Genesis 8 avatar back in here. I'm going to say add to workspace. Fresh weather? I don't know, man. All right, now it seems to be. All right, we're going to turn gravity off. And now when I do this, nothing should move. Excellent. Now it's white. Because this was exported out of Marvel's Designer. The other one was from Daz. Anyhow, let's see if we can get this side pulled down. That just settle a little bit. Trying to go back up. Yeah, let's undo that. I just need to pin some stuff in place before we try this again. Mesh lasso. So what I want is basically just to get that. I don't want to grab that part of the strap, so we're going to avoid that. Get this. Try that. X-ray tool would be really handy in here. All right. Does that look good? I think I'm going to try to pin a little bit more in here. Avoid the strap. I think let's try this. How is my gravity looking? Turn you off. Simulation properties. Put a little bit of gravity in here. Try 1,000. I had a thought, but it went away. Did I not? Oh, I forgot to select my pin. Dang it. Go to all the trouble to select all that stuff, and then I forget to. No, it did it again. No. Did I lose it? Great pin. There we go. All right, let's try the little gravity, just a little. Standard's 98 minus 9800. We're just going to do minus 1000. And let me see. Let me switch back to GPU. And is this? Okay, maybe a little more gravity. Pop into the simulation properties. Let's go to, let's try 5000 C. I think I might live with that. All right, I'm going to try to switch the thickness though back up to 5. The default's 2.5, but 5 gives me a little bit more insurance that I'm not going to get poked through from the cloth. And want to make sure that doesn't get funky. You know what? This is probably going to be okay. So let's file export obj selected down left. Down L. I'm going to say down L. Okay to that. We're just going to back that up. I did have that selected. Okay. Am I good here? Yeah, I'm going to just load in the left side now and do that for the right side, just like we did with this. I've gone too far. It's now thinking too much about this. I think that's undoing the pins. It might actually be faster just to restart it. But I have a fair amount of confidence it's just an undo. Of course, if it undoes any slower. All right, close the program. I'm losing my patience today. Where are we? All right, relaunching Marvelous Designer yet again. Impatiently waiting. There we go. Hey, and it showed up in the right size. File, import, add, obj to garment. Last time we did the strap forward left. This time we're going to do strap forward right. Say okay to that. Load in our avatar for Genesis 8. Right there. Got to right click and say add to workspace. Otherwise, it's going to want to just start a new. All right, looking good. Let's hum diddy hum. Yeah, let's pin, then pull this down. And let's set my gravity. So let's do the pin first. Did I grab the right one? I did not grab the right one. That's the one I wanted, the lasso. Come through here. Try to avoid that strap. That's fine. Come through here, get more of this. Rolling around, collecting a bit more. Rolling around. Avoid that other strap. So I'm going to start here and bring you through here. carefully thread that needle. Probably close enough. All right, let's set the simulation. Dang it, I did it again. There we go. I forgot to create the pin once more. There's the pin. There we go. All right, now I'm going to set the simulation to 5, 1, 2, 3. And we'll see if we can just get this pulled off here. That didn't go too bad. Stop that for a second. I want to change that additional thickness to 5. Probably good. I want to just pull that strap off the front of the dress. All right, let's call that down R. Save as export OBJ selected. It did look like it was yellow. Down L actually has a file size, so that's looking good. Down R. Save that. Okay, let's do a morph check over here just to make sure they're all looking good. Hey, they have file sizes, so these should be fine. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's all good. All right, those are looking fine. Okay, I'm going to undo this, get this back up, and then we're going to pull this other strap over. So let's delete selected pin. Should only be one pin. We're going to pin everything else and get this other strap over here. That'll be something straps, both, something like that. Nuts, I got part of that strap. Redo that. Try that again. Nope, not what I wanted. That's better. Did I get part of that strap that time? I did not. Excellent. Probably good enough. He said making another selection. Okay. There we go. All right, let's, and then we're just gonna add a little pin over here. And activate that. Use the Q to select that. I'm just gonna drag you up and over. Gonna see how that. I have to untwist you. I think I have to. Damn it! trying to select the gizmo, and instead I grabbed the dress. Let's see if it puts it back. Let's see if it puts it back without making everything explode. Come on, dude. Oh, the agony. Oh, Jesus, Joseph and Mary. Okay, so at this point, it would have been faster to just shut it down and redo it. All right, we are gonna. Yeah, it's just taunting me. Okay, let's load in one of the other ones now. Import add obj to garment. It doesn't make any difference. I just grab one of these. Let's do the R again. Get our avatar in here. Oh, accidentally used to be able to just get the option loading, and now it just automatically, if you double click, thinks you're just doing a new file. I don't know why they changed it that way. Okay, let's try this again. And lasso, right? I'm gonna bring you around like so. Hopefully that's good enough. All right. And these are pins, right? So I don't have to. The other one I was making a single pin. Now I just created a whole bunch of pin groups. All right, let's try this. You know, I'm just gonna grab you. I'm not gonna bother pinning the end. Oh, except I'm going around the back of the head. No. All right, there, I got them. We got both forward. I'm gonna just get that to drift a little bit. It is sticking a little bit to the front. See if we can get a little bit of static friction going on there. All right, that's good. I'm gonna export that out. File. I gotta select it. There we go. I got my yellow color. It means I've got it selected. Okay, file. Export. OBJ selected. Straps forward both. Okay. Let's delete all the pins. Let me see if I can kind of pin the waist down without, and then we can maybe just pull the top down just for both. Let's try that. And I'm going to call that, that's what we're going to do for the Morse for this one. And then I have to do this for Genesis 9 at some point, but not today, or at least not on stream. Maybe something like that. Probably good enough. Okay. Let's try this. I'm going to set the thickness to 5. And we're going to put our gravity to, what do I got right now? Let's lower that. Let's make it 2,000, see how that works. Minus 2,000. Pull this down a little bit, and that's going to be down both. And we'll just try to get these straps to settle out a little nicer. Yeah, got that one strap is drifted out by itself. Yay. Okay, I think that's going to be good. Let's try that. File, export, OBJ selected. I'm going to say down both. Should be good. All right, let's see how this looks over here. All right, let's yeah, let's try it. Try it like this. So I want did I get all of these in here? I don't want to redo the, maybe do that one. Maybe these 3. Let's see how this goes. Both looks fine. Straps forward both. I might want to adjust that one. So we're going to reload these 2 that kind of work similar to that. So what I need to do for this one, it's the same thing I did before where I dialed in one of these. one of these special morphs. If I do that, we're going to load in the corresponding down right. Okay. Down right. Okay. Check that out. Looking good. That, yeah. I think I saw a little bit of movement over there on the left, but not too much. So it's fine. It's fine. I got something. Oh no, that's right. All right, and then we want to set up down left. Only I want to do the undo strap right. Reload in down left. And Control Shift F. And now when we do down right, good. Down left, good. There's a little bit of weird movement in the back, but that's okay. I think we're good. We're gonna color these up, put them in the right group, save them out. And I've got like 14 minutes before 4 o'clock. So we're going to set up, we're going to start the undone version. So we're going to pop into Blender. We're going to open up this seam in the back here where the zipper is. And we're just going to pull those vertexes a little bit apart. And we're going to reload it and re-rig it based off of this one right here. And that should, and then when we go to Marvelous Designer, I can start doing undone in the back morphs. And my brain stopped. I am doing this. Here we go. We're going to do through here. Set my presentation. These are special morphs, so we're going to use this color here. Make that black. Accept that. Then we're going to move all of this over to the special category. So that goes to the property group. Actor, special, accept. Now we're going to save these. Can use them later. And you know what? I'm just going to save everything that's in the special group. Should be fine. All right, I should be good. Now we're going to undo the back. So we're going to open up Blender. I saved out a version of this, so we're going to open that up and then split that seam. So that's the plan. And before I do that, I'm going to save this as an outfit in case I break something again. I think we should be good here. Boink. I'm going to reload in Genesis 8. Blender is over on screen 2. We will bring that over to screen 1 in a minute. Hopefully Diatoms doesn't attack. Would be nice. They're such cute little things. Okay. So this is just in case I screw something up. I'm in the wrong folder. That's the Genesis 9 version. Let's not work with that. We're working over here with Genesis 8. Point, 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 point. All right. So I'm going to put that on there. I'm going to put the shoes on. I'm going to just resave this as a wearable preset over here. Wearable preset. I'm going to save that as the Rockabilly Swing outfit and save that. Yep. So we're going to save the shoes, save the dress. I also want to save the pose, so we're going to check on this stuff over here. The left foot and the right foot, and save that. Should be good. Okay, now let's Got to do a little bit of work in Blender. I'm going to import. We're going to track down where I saved that. So at the beginning of stream, we saved this one right here. So that one I'm pretty sure is good. So we're going to modify that to be the unzipped version. I'm going to pop into here and we're going to split this seam through here. I just have to figure out where. Actually, did my materials come over? I should be able to just select the zipper. Yeah, baby. And then we can just hide everything else. And then I can easily grab that. And let me see. I think it's an edge split. Then if I do this, I should be able to slide these one way or another. Just a little bit like that. A little bit like that. Right, now we have opened up the back. Mecha Miniatures. Is that our rate target? Sounds good. All right, I'm going to save this. This is going to be what I call the undone version. So activate the export. Use my DAS preset. Come over here. You know what? We're gonna save it up in here where I have too much stuff. I should probably clean these folders out occasionally. Rockabilly, Press, Undone, G8 female. All of that should be good. Export. All right, let's see how this works out. We're going to load in that dress with the broken seam in the back now. That is my load in, yes. Whip. Let's organize this so I can see what I'm doing. View details, sort by date. That's the one we just saved at the top. Yeah, baby. Open that up. I gotta change that to 10,000. Can't count. 10, 1, 2, 3. All right, looks pretty close. I'm now going to rig this using this dress here. We're going to use the transfer tool. Are you my transfer tool? Yep. Select Rockabilly dress G8 female. Select Rockabilly dress undone G8 female. And I'm going to do this little trick here. We're going to replace the source with the target. I'm going to accept that. I'm going to save this real quick before I forget what I'm doing. So we have to change the name of this because now it says dress. So I'll call you undone. Like that. And I'm going to do this thing over here. This thing here, we're going to save a figure prop asset. Rockabilly, there we go. People, Genesis 8, clothing, me, Rockabilly swing. I'm going to not save over that. Rockabilly swing dress. Undone. There we go. Okay. Real important. Gotta change that or I'm going to cry. This is the name that goes into the data folder. If I don't change that, it overwrites the old one. Should be good. All right, there's the undone one. Now if I now I had a bunch of rigid follow nodes on the original one. If I did this right, they're still there on this one. So let's see. My nodes are still hooked up. There we go. I think we're good. I'm going to run a D-force simulation and just see how that comes off in the back. So here, let's do that. This should split up in the back. There we go. I have successfully converted this. And now I don't, I think I brought over all the morphs and everything too. So we should be good. Undo that. Let's go check our morphs. I might have to do a little bit of tweaking on those. So come over here. Look at that. They still have the same colors and everything. Do they still do the things? They don't do the things. No. It's broke. I can get them back though. I have the technology. We have a sneaky way of copying morphs easily over from one garment to another, especially if they're more or less the same vertexes. So we're getting close. I'm going to do that, and then we're going to call it a day. I'm going to save this as a wearable preset, so we save the buttons attached. Let's do that. So select. Now, actually, let's get the materials on here. Come over here. Let's see if my hierarchical material files work. Nope, I have to redo those. Okay. So going to come over here. Going to apply that. Looking good. Select you. Come over here and save you as a wearable preset. I'm going to overwrite this one right here. And we're not going to save the shoes with that. I want to check something here. Let's go take a look at our data directory and see what's in there. So this is pretty close. So inside our data folder, we should now have there it is right there, the undone dress. I'm going to take a look and see what morphs got made. Yeah, but they're not real morphs. They're faux morphs. What I'm going to do is load this onto the other dress, dial those in, and then I can save them out for the most part. Some of them might need a little bit of tweaking, but we're close. So let's try to do that, and then we're going to call it a day. Let's get rid of you for a second. Bring you in. Let's load you in. Going to fit this to this dress here. Yep, you're still not doing anything. I probably should just delete those out. I might have to do that. What am I doing? I'm fitting. I'm going to go to General and Mish. Fit 2. And I'm going to fit that to the Rockabilly dress, like that. Then I'm just going to run through here, pile all those morphs in, and then they should auto-generate in the attached undone dress. At least that's the plan. I'm looking at the wrong item. Here we go. Actually, I'm going to back up here a little bit. I just had a weird thought. Let me see. If I actually save these, I think they're blanks, but I just want to make sure I just save all these morphs and see what it does. Yeah, they're all blanks. Never mind. All right, base dress, undone dress, fit to the other dress, accept that. Come over here, and I'm just going to go through and dial these in, which should then propagate into the. I'm going to turn off edit. Just kind of do this, and that should add them all in, just to see what we're make sure it's working. I'm going to hide the base dress, and then we should be seeing these changes popping into the. Well, I'm not really seeing them pop in there, am I? I got the wrong. Do I have the wrong thing selected? I don't. You're not propagating. Why are you not propagating? Oh, are you not? Are you not fitted to that? You are fitted. It's because you have morphs in there. I got to redo this. So these things in here are blocking auto-generated morphs. But we're just going to get rid of all of that. Then we're going to come back and reload. And it is about 4. It's a little past 4. I'm going to do this, and then we're going to call it a day. Did I get you in here? There it is. Fit to. It wasn't auto-generating morphs because it had them already. That was the issue. Fit to that. Okay, so now I should be able to come over here. I have to come over here into here. Here adjustment. And now there we go. Now we see them auto-generating in. Yay! So I just have to kind of. I don't know. Someday in the future, I'll figure out a cleverer way to do this. I lost track of what I was doing. I think it was right about there. Hold on just a minute. All right. Never mind. Now I lost track where I was. You think, Art? You think? All right, flare that skirt. Flare that skirt again. All right. Those are the adjustment morphs. Let's see how the special morphs look. Some of these might look a little weird. I might have to go in and clean them up. I know this one, that one got a little bit of garbage in it. I'm going to have to clean that up. I can clean that up in Blender, though. These strap morphs might be a little. These strap morphs just get a little funky. But I actually have techniques that'll let me clean those up pretty easily in Blender. Probably going to have to do it for all of these, though. That one looks okay. That one's got some issues. That's fine. Now those straps make the morph transfers a little bit funky. I might have to just redo these need a little bit of cleanup. I'm just going to run through this and then save everything and decide whether it's easier to just do it from scratch or make a new clean or clean it up a bit. I think we're good. I think I'm going to just save all of this out. Actually, I need to dial in these body morphs. Let's do that really quick. And we're going to save this. We're going to call it a day. We're going to go see Mecha Miniatures today. Because that's what Charles put in chat. So that's the way we roll. Charles puts it in chat. We got to do it. Maybe. We will probably do it. Did I do these? I'm lost. Oh no. I think I'm almost done. Pair, thin, and voluptuous. I think I'm okay. So we're going to select that. I'm going to just export out all these morphs. Base. I'm just going to check on that and export everything. And we're going to call it there for today. Thank you all for being here. Hey, are you all following CS Bond 2? He streamed last late in May. So if he does something like that again, you want to be there. And if you're not following, you stand no chance of being there. So give him a follow. Check him out if you can. I will be back tomorrow, 7 p.m. I'm not sure what we'll be doing. Depends on how much progress has been made on this. Although I will probably be working on one of the 3 lingerie sets I started last week. So there is that. Thank you all for being here. Celis Australius, thank you for the raid, man. Always appreciate it. Check out the coolest garden on Twitch over there. Hum diddy hum diddy hum diddy hum. I'm lost. I'm gonna try to figure out what I'm doing now. That's the YouTube. Hey, if anybody's watching on YouTube, like and subscribe, baby. And let's open this up. And yeah, thanks for being here, Emerg. It was good to see you. I'm gonna try. I'm following Mecha Miniatures, so let me just make sure that they are still on. And I gotta copy this. I'm not seeing them. This ARG. I hate copying and pasting in this. It's kind of cool in that it lets me have chats together. Control C. Let's try this. Mecha Miniatures. I got a Subway ad, so he's probably live. Make and sell 3D models of orcs for tabletop gaming. So there we go. We're going to go over and say hi to them today. Appreciate you all being here. We'll be back tomorrow, 7 p.m. I said that. Hey, feel free to join the Discord. If you post stuff into the gallery there, let's try this again. We do share stuff on the Saturday Night Social on Saturdays at 8 p.m. There is that. So let's do this. We have raid calls. So if you're on Twitch, feel free to copy that. If you're not a subscriber, if you are a subscriber, you can use this raid call here. Yeah, thanks for being here, Art. It's always a pleasure to see you, man. I hope you survive the heat and keep the snow bunny iced down. I guess that's what you got to do, right? Anyhow, yeah. So anyhow, I hope you have a good rest of a Monday or Tuesday for those of you on the happy side of the planet. Hasta la vista, baby.